Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so true. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beauty, beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing time. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from your planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beauty, beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace up with presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, how na day? Hello. Let me see who is here. If you can hear me loud and clear, please do let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Hey D-Love, good to see you. Hit that like button. Thank you. If you can hear me loud and clear, do let me know. Shout out to you. Chinye is early. You don't have to catch up today. You don't have to, how do you say it again? Get up to speed, right? Whatever it is you normally say. Welcome. All right. And I see Angela. Good to see you, Angela. How's everyone doing? Mondays is kind of like a hardest day because we're coming back, from at least a 1-day weekend. We were here on Saturday, right? But we got to get people up to speed, Good to see you, Angela. Good to see you. All right, you guys can hear me. That's awesome. Let's do some quick house cleaning before we continue. As you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Also, pay attention to the ticker on the screen that's scrolling. It's always scrolling. Pay attention. There's some vital information that keeps scrolling through there during the course of the show. If you're brand new here, I definitely want to invite you. Here's your official invitation to join us, the Prestige family. Join us also inside of WhatsApp. Sometimes we just continue the conversation over there. People share ideas with me. They share ideas with themselves, share clips that they're seeing across the internet that they find interesting, but it's just another way for us to continue to stay glued. More importantly, I do notify you when I'm going live. So if you want to join that, the best way is to go to www.lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. Okay, but also just in case you have trouble, okay, some people's phone, maybe they don't use an iPhone, they don't use an Android, they use something else. I don't know. This is the phone number right here. WhatsApp only. Just send a text, something nice, then we'll reply you with the appropriate way to join the group over there. All right. And also, I want to make sure that this shows very well on your screen. I'm actually going to check myself. All the books you're looking at, you see the books on the side, right? So I have the book hung on the wall now. A lot of people wonder if we're just here to gossip. No. All right. We do tag on to trendy topics, but we particularly use it to extract real life lessons. Okay, real life lessons, real life relationship lessons. There are about 7 different areas. Sorry about that. There are about 7 different areas that we cover here. We're not just here. Okay, so it doesn't show very well. Let me make sure. There's one thing that's not showing. I'm going to fix that in a second. All right. So the truth is that there's a lot of stuff that we cover here, and we, as much as we try to avoid, what do you call it? We try to avoid generalization. We have to generalize to actually a large extent, because that's just the nature of what we do here, right? Okay. So sometimes when we use some of these special characters, they don't show properly on the screen. So I'm verifying. It looks good on my end, but it doesn't look good on your end. But anyway, I just fixed it, and you should be able to see it right now. Download the books, okay? Okay, they are my books. They are books that have been written by me. One of them, this one right here, was written by myself and my wife, and we cover our stories for as well as some real life lessons. Basically, it's like our first 10 years of marriage. We kind of like went through everything there is to go through in that period, and I learned everything that I'm sharing with you. But obviously, I've been taking on clients for the past 2018. It's going on 5 years. Jesus Christ. So I know quite a bit about these topics, and the kind of stuff we covers about 7 different areas, as you can see on the screen. I'm bringing you up to speed. Yes, today we will cover Auntie Nkechi. She has some advice for us. We'll cover that, but just hold on 1 second. Hold tight. Number 1, we cover relationships. We cover power. Okay, power, particularly for Black people. Because they seem to struggle in every area of life when it comes to power. They're always asking people to give them power. There's a time and place for advocacy, for activism. But power is never given, just so you know. Okay, you have to take it. Seduction, same principles. You can see it happen in relationships, in society, in politics. Same principles at the end of the day. Okay. And we just try to cover that here. Number 4, we cover attraction. It's either you're attracted to a person or you're not. You can't force it. You can't force it down people's throats with duty and responsibility. EQ, emotional intelligence, we cover that here. We cover patience. We cover love, right? Everybody say love is not enough. Love is not enough. Then I ask them, what do you mean? And then freeze. What do you mean by love? How do you define love? Then freeze. Dr. Fritz. But anyway, those are the things we cover here. And then we talk about marriage, But honestly, if you don't understand all these 7 things in this time and age, you're going to fail in marriage anyway. Okay. If you don't remain a perpetual student of these 7 things, you will fail in marriage in the 21st century, in 2023 and beyond. All right. So those are the things that we cover here. Let me do some quick more shout out. Welcome as you're coming in. Do me a favor, hit that like button as you're coming in. I think we have, let me see. Okay, we have Tiffany. Everybody else is just silently listening. It's Monday, believe it or not, Monday is actually my rest day too. Like, I don't like to do anything too serious on Mondays. I rarely take on I block up my calendars on Mondays. I'm just lazy and tired of Mondays, That's when most people wake up and say, oh, we gotta go to work. That's the day that I actually shut down. All right. So, and then that's in addition to the fact that today is a holiday in the United States. Today is Martin Luther King, birthday, holiday, something like that. I don't pay attention to those. I haven't paid attention to those things since 2006. Okay, that was the last time I had a regular day job. Yeah, welcome. Excuse me. So hey Tiffany, good to see you. She said we're talking about Cloutina tonight. Let's go. That's her name, Cloutina. Jesus Christ, you're not getting him. Hey, by the way, make sure go download the books. Go get the books. This one is about marriage. This one is digital marketing. This one is, these 2 are real estate. So if you're interested in extra income through real estate in the United States, particularly, those are 2 good books, and they're all free. Okay, you can download the PDF for free. The audiobook is free too. They all have audiobooks. Yes, I know. I've worked hard before we started this. right? So they all have audiobooks, and you can get them for free if you're joining Audible. None of you should be here and you don't have a regular membership with some kind of audiobook platform where you can get free books every month. Okay, and that's what Audible does. So if you're signed up for the first time for their free trial, they give you access to one of my books for free. That's the audiobook, right? But the PDFs they're absolutely free. You can download PDF and read on your phone. They're free. Okay. Hey, good to see you, Eunice. Good to see you. Yeah, Temilade, good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you. And we have Jenny J. She said, "Wow, since 2006, you're living the life. You think?" We're on a journey. We're on a journey. Let's just say that, okay? But I can't complain. I'm grateful for where I am. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but that's particularly how we grow, right? All right, so yeah, we have to talk about auntie today. We have to talk about auntie, the gift. Some people call her the gift that keeps giving, right? Auntie NKECHI Blessing. She has a word for us today, right? And so let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. There's also a couple of other things that I want us to cover today, a couple of other things. But we're gonna see what we can get through in the next 90 minutes or so, But I want to take it easy, relax. I just want to chat with you. We have how many people here? We're about 15 people here. Shout out to you. And thank you always for your support. Just so you know, your super chats goes a long way in helping me set all of this up and continue to make the show easier to consume. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we still need. We need equipment. I need a couple of things, because this journey that we're on it together. And the truth is that it's not a 1 year journey. It's not a 5 years journey. It's not, it's basically for as long as it takes. We have some things we have to address. We have some real issues. This is our society, right? And basically how we move is going to determine the types of human beings we'll create, right? You might not even want children, but you have nieces, you have nephews, right? And children learn from examples, not what we say, But what we say is very important, right? How we talk is very important, right? How we talk is particularly what we're doing, right? This is our behaviors. So I want us to continue to rub minds together, and to continue to address some of the issues that we're having as a society. And yes, particularly with regards to romance. Romance is like it's probably the hardest type of relationship to have, because there's no paycheck on Friday, right? When there's paycheck on Friday, you can hold people accountable and say, hey, you're fired. Hey, I don't want to work with you, right? Vice versa, two-way street, right? But when it's romance, there's no tangible reward, right? Even the career one, right? People can get that anywhere, and people can. But we also know that the benefit we get from that is usually short lifespan, right? So we have to be careful. Anything that's like money and career, they're just not good enough. They're good, they're fantastic. I love money. Are you kidding me? I love money. And I love career. But in the grand scheme of things, number one, we know that you can get those things, you can lose them and get them all over again, as long as you're still here. But the one thing that you can't get back is time and life. You only have one of it, and time is not your mate, and it keeps moving, right? Regardless of what kind of stories you tell yourself, you're not in a rush, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you should be in a rush, by the way, because if you rush into anything, you will rush out of it, right? But when we say that, we need context. What do you mean, right? Are you saying that you shouldn't rush into something? I agree 100% on that. Or are you saying you have the rest of your life to make certain decisions? I say no, I disagree. Some decisions need to be made in timely manner, and time is not our mate. Time no be our mate. It sounds better when I say it in pidgin. It just sounds completely terrible and wrong when I say it in English. But yeah, that's what we are today. So I want us to keep talking about that. So we gotta keep this platform alive. We have to, whatever we have to do to keep it alive. At some point, I want to get out in the streets and interview, ask questions, ask people questions, bring some guests online. How many people enjoy Bola hanging out with us on Friday? How many of you enjoy when Bola, when we have multiple perspectives, it takes the conversation to another level entirely. As opposed to just hearing my mouth running for 2 hours. I know you guys don't mind, but there's limitations to any one person's perspective, including mine, of course, right? But when we're able to rub minds together and we hear other people talk, you're like, interesting. That's another way of looking at it. Or there's some people like you that you're watching me right now. They need to hear you say the same things I'm saying, but in the way you would say it, right? For them to be able to comprehend it. They can't comprehend it when Allah is saying it. So yes, very, very soon, I will be looking to coach coaches as well. People that understand what I'm talking about, but they are also able to relate in their own way, because there's somebody out there that they can't comprehend the way I talk, or maybe I ramble too much, or maybe I go straight too forward, too fast, forward too much, or maybe, for some reason they can't comprehend what I'm saying when I say it, but when they hear you say the same thing, like there's a bell that rings off in their head, right? So the Prestige family is not just about Allah, He would say, shout out to my brother. I think I saw him earlier say something. Gracious greatness. Yes, good to see you, man. He said, what up, boss? The prestigious man. Thank you. But the idea is of the man of prestige is bigger than any one person. Okay? It's basically our whole society, and and I believe that the society is a function of the status of men. When men start to become soft, it's just a bad idea. And when I say soft, it's not stuff that anyone's supposed to admit to. It's just, unfortunately, it's usually too late, before people start to pay attention. Usually the results that we see, like, the result is bad already, right? When everybody else is busy arguing and just like arguing semantics. What is alpha male? Which one is masculine? Which are but the result you are creating is not what you want. That's the issues we're having here, right? Who cares what alpha male is? Who cares what a beta male is, right? If you're getting the results you're looking to get, that's all that matters, right? So let's keep going. He said, "Are you tired the way you are rubbing your eyes?" No, I'm good. It's just Mondays. It's Mondays for me. It's my day of relax, zen. I'm in my zen mode. It says, "What's your Cash App or Zelles? YouTube's cut is too much for our super chat." Thank you so much for asking that. The Cash App is it's actually Man of Prestige. I think it's $ Man of Prestige. It's on the screen. We're yet to set up Zelle. We'll set something up very soon. But we don't mind super chats too, because it inspires other people to also continue to support, because they can see it, But yeah, thank you so much for that. Zelle, yeah, we'll set that up. And I think Zelle and Cash App is mostly for people in the United States only. I think people in UK have Cash App, but for the rest of the other world, I don't think they have those things. I'm not sure. But anyhow, shall we go make them happen? I'll give a shout out to our delectable Auntie B. She's back on fire. I noticed that she came heavy. I saw a bunch of schedules and a bunch of shows scheduled for the week. I'm like, Jesus Christ, did she even take the rest she's supposed to take? But I understand her, because I'm like that. When I go on trips with my wife, unless you want to punish me, I have to bring my laptop. And of course, there's going to be a moment where I open the laptop and and try to do a little bit of work. But I try to control myself these days, and I'm very deliberate at putting the laptop away. But and I understand why I do it. It's again so my partner, she doesn't feel like she's second to business, But when you're a workaholic, you're a workaholic. It is what it is. That's why Mondays is like my Friday and Saturday and Sunday. All right. But we're here. D Love. Why? This love is too much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a day one supporter, our number one member, the first member on this platform. Membership is open, by the way, just so you guys know. You can sign up for membership for even as low as $2 per month, something like that. It's just your way of supporting the platform. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, D-Love. Thank you. All right, so let's get going here. We have auntie what's her name? Auntie NKECHI Blessing. We have two blessings here. We have two blessings that come to feature sometimes. I'm not talking about our members here, right? I have about two blessings that are our members here. They understand what we're talking about. But we also talk about all these other blessings. This one that chases clouds. The two of them actually are very good at chasing clouds. I have to give it up to them. But we just don't do that for cloud reasons, right? If we can hire them, right? Why not, right? So we have NKECHI Blessing today. The other one is, what's her name? Blessing CEO, right? So anytime I see something about her too, she's also a gift that keeps giving. They do all the wrong things. But today is a little bit different for Auntie NKECHI, So let's get into Auntie NKECHI. Let's see what she has to say, and then we'll dive into the other stories that we have today. Shall we? Right? Oh, by the way, I'm still working on some of our sound effects. Gores Connor, I don't see her yet. I know she'll probably show up any minute. I saw your message. I will be sending you that stuff. Sorry, I've been quite caught up. But I got you on that. But yeah, let's get into today's stuff, shall we? Shall we? All right. Welcome. Let's do this.
There are so many. Do you know what I feel? The thing is, there are so many marriages that are working, but bloggers will not focus on them.
Wait, that makes sense. Don't we say that here all the time? There are so many marriages that work and that are working, right? In fact, what is today's title? Why marriages are failing, right? All right, she has more to tell us. Actually, I thought I was going to go have enough time to go find the full thing that she said. But this is enough. We're going to have enough to talk about. Let's see. But she makes sense so far.
Even though they focus on them, go under the comment section. You see things.
So she said the bloggers, even when they decide, which is rarely ever, a few times I've deliberately taken some good stories and I'll come and shine lights on them. I said, this is a situation. The last time we had what's his name? We had Daniel Etim Efiong, right? We talked about some of the tips that he shared in that Mado podcast, right? And anytime you see something like that you thought was fascinating, please share with me. By the way, some of them I'll be like, slow your roll, right? Because again, not only do we just talk about things that make sense to the regular minds, we also go a little bit deeper into the emotional intelligence level, right? There are some things on the surface that look like it's a good thing to do, but when you go like just 3 days down the line, you're like, maybe that's a bad idea. Like, wait, let's slow our roll, right? Yeah, so, but if you see anything, that's what the WhatsApp group is for. You can share it with us in there. We can argue in there first before we come to the surface and talk about it, right? So let's keep going.
Things like they go still break up. Even though they focus on them, go under the comment section, you see things like they go still break up.
Isn't that true, right? So when you go into the comment section, if we have time today, I'm going to go into some of the comment section of some of the stories, right? The comment section reveals so much about the state of the human mind right now. A lot of people, I have to be honest with you, a lot of people are just sick right now, okay? A lot of people are sick, okay? When you see some of the comments that they leave, right? What is one of those examples? Let's see.
Let me tell you something. Nigerians, we are our own oha. By the time we start appreciating ourselves, encouraging ourselves, the change that we seek starts and begins with us. Imagine you seeing two loved up couples, people that are genuinely happy. You don't live with them, but you go under their post and type comment.
So to be fair, it's not people's fault too, because some of these people, like for example, the example we gave yesterday, Auntie Riti Doyle, right? The day on Saturday, right? We reviewed a video she did 7 months ago where she was like, I have a supportive husband and all of that. What happened 7 months later? What's done, right? So especially when you look at the numbers, right? I have to be honest, it's not encouraging. It only makes sense that it's not exactly encouraging that people will now see like, they were just doing pajama. What do you guys call it? Pajamas, matching pajamas for Christmas, right? What happened? 6 months down the line, the marriage is over. How many times have we seen that? We've seen that quite a few times now, right? So I can't judge people, but I know some are just toxic. Like some are literally waiting for good relationships to fail. And to be fair, some of them are subconsciously waiting. It's not something they decide like, I'm just going to be evil. It's just that they've seen enough of this terrible news and, they just don't trust it, right? Trust is a very, very fickle thing. Trust is not something you can force. But here's something you can learn about trust. Let me drop this really quickly before we continue. Trust is a function of, number one, time, right? There's something second, consistency, okay? Maybe I should add a third, change behavior, right? But change behavior with respect if somebody did something and you don't trust them anymore, right? Change behavior, that change behavior needs to be consistent and it needs time. This is why you can't manipulate people into forgiveness. You can't say, after all, I begged you, you should be able to forgive easily. Now, you can't say things like that. Okay? Here's number one reason why you shouldn't say things like that. There's no better way to tell me that you lack foresight. There's no better way to tell me that you lack emotional intelligence, like in a chronic way, right? There's no better way to tell me that that you feel like you don't have control, like you're really suffering emotionally speaking, because clearly something happened between you and another person and you're trying to force them into forgiveness right now and you're suffering and you're struggling and it's not working. And what do? You get angry. You say, like, can you just forgive and forget that, after all, I begged you, right? It's a way to tell me at least, right, that you feel like you've lost control. And when you feel like you lost control, it only gets worse when you now act it out like that. You have to be very, very careful. So that's the thing about trust. So I understand that trust is very flaky, right? Once you lose trust, some people swear up and down that you can never get it, but it's a lie. Okay? You just have to be wise enough. You just have to be emotionally intelligent enough to back off. Time, understand time. No guarantees. We know that, right? But back off. You probably need that space. You just don't realize because you're being rejected and you're obsessed. Rejection breeds obsession, right? So you're being rejected, so you're obsessed with them now. And in reality, you actually may resent that person. But because they rejected you right now, you just want to you're obsessed with the idea that they should forgive you right now. Will it work? Right? Back off, give it time, give it space. You probably need it. Remember, self-love, self-respect. People mimic the level of self-love and self-respect you have for yourself. So if you are begging and begging like this, there's no better way to tell us that you lack self-respect, right? But what if I authentically feel like I've offended this person? I know this is how you go collect, because you're thinking about this straight line. None of this stuff is straight line, okay? You gotta look at it as, okay, what is it that they're feeling on their end right now? For whatever reason, they feel like you've offended them. They need time. They need time. And if you have controlling behavior, it might be hard for you to comprehend this, right? But just try. They need, like the rest of us, they need time. Oh, forget that for a second. You need time. You, yourself. Like, this is probably a good moment to be selfish, right? If you need that to comprehend what I'm saying. You need time. Like, you've offended them. You said, I'm sorry. If you have to say it the second, third time, it's not working. They need time, right? So that's trust. So I understand trust. I kind of went down the trust rabbit hole a little bit because I felt like I needed to. When people don't trust, again, because there's so many, you have random people trying to teach other people online, random people that have terrible experiences or no experience. They will try to teach other people or try to save the world. Last night, I was on a platform where some guy was talking about, I'm sucker free. He thinks he's sucker free because he's avoiding marriage. It's like, what the? But anyway, anyway, so a bunch of people were arguing with him, but that's where we are right now. A lot of blind leading the blind, right? So again, all of it traces back to lack of trust. So when people go in and they see some couple loved up and stuff like that, they say, nyumu, nyumu. Remember the title that we gave the other one, right? Like perfect couple, nyumu. Because 7 months ago, she was just saying that that's a supportive husband. 7 months down the road, they filed divorce. They are divorced completely. They've been divorced since August, right? So I understand it, but you have to be guided. There's some things that should just make sense to you. This part should make sense to you. If somebody's enjoying their marriage right now, there's an extremely good chance they're not a content creator or a coach like Ola. They are busy spending time with their partner, right? So they're not making noise. They're not making empty barren noise on the internet. Does that make sense at least? At least. The time they spend on the internet are kind of like you, ladies and gentlemen, here. They have one earbuds on, they're listening, they're trying to learn some new things. And they're not barking and, like arguing on a panel with a bunch of same people, like misery love companies, right? So let's just pay attention to that. Let's go on.
I think by the time bloggers start showing us the sweet part of marriage, a lot of people won't be discouraged today, because I see some.
Why would the blogger show you sweet part of marriage? Say you will click on it. Will you keep quiet? Where are my sound effects? Oh Lord. Jesus is Lord. Will you click on it if they start showing you sweet side of marriage? You won't. And like I always say, this is an active marketplace. Remember, Uncle Patrick was saying, Plus TV does not need. If you haven't go watch that video, the last one, by the way, when we're done with this. A Plus TV, a reputable channel, does not need this type of story. That was over here, brother. People need, I'm sorry to say, negative news. And not just particularly negative news. They need to trigger the audience emotions in a negative way to get them to click on it. Okay? Why marriages are failing? There's somebody here right now that's watching because the failing triggers the negative parts of the brain. Right? So it's unrealistic. Part of the things that I teach us here, that I share with us here, I should say, is that we have unrealistic expectations of human beings. You need to manage your expectations of human beings. Human beings are not triggered by positive stuff. It's like they don't actually trust it in the state we are right now. Sadly. Okay? Like, okay, look at these 50 marriages that are successful. That's possible. Some of you may end up watching that later on, but there's a certain state of mind you have to be in. You know, you're a kind of person that you're working on yourself, like I encourage self-development, right? Self-improvement, right? Yes, there's an audience for that. We're going to grow to that level here, right? But it takes work, it takes consistency, and not giving up in the lights of people like Andrew Tate saying completely negative stuff against women and then blow up overnight, right? You know, if you're not raised with a certain standard, it's easy to get lured into like, oh, let me say something polarizing so I can get audience. But the truth is that most people are the bloggers, especially the faceless one. They don't care about like self-improvement for yourself. They just need to get some clicks, and you need to be aware of that. And if you are clicking on it, YouTube will show you more of it. It's business. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. Comment like, you sure say I go marry so, and type comment. I think by the time bloggers start showing us the sweet part of marriage, a lot of people won't be discouraged today, because I see some comment like, you sure say I go marry so. Come on.
But so as much, here's why I'm not really afraid of that. As much as to see, you sure say I go marry so, no, I'm a sucker free, I don't do marriage, or things like, but women will say, you know, I just never wanted to marry. Most of them as big cap. Most of the people that
stop the cap.
But I understand why they feel the need to say that, right? Because they can't, again, trust issues, especially people that that are pretending to be what they're not on the internet, right? So it's not, it's tricky. The only thing we can do about it is awareness, self-awareness, which I think that's what she's pointing out, right? We need to be a little bit more aware. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like button as you're coming in. Let me see what you all are talking about, by the way. D-Love, thank you again. Thank you so much. Evil people who praise for other people's breakup. Yeah, a lot of times it's subconscious. You know? It's not like, I wish they break up. When you're giving us too much credit as human beings when you think that way. We're not thinking about it that far. It's subconscious because of seeing so many negative news, right? Or seeing so many situations that and seeing so many negative results or negative outcomes. It's also part of self-fault if it has to be somebody's fault. Because again, the media has always been what it's always been, right? You can see Prince Harry complaining all over the place right now with what's her name? Meghan, right? About media. Like, it's tabloid has always been there. They've always been evil. Hello? That's their business, especially if you're on that pedestal, right? So, again, let's just have realistic expectations of media in general. Their job is to get the clicks. And by the way, it's not the person that owns the business that's getting the clicks. The creatives are getting the clicks. And if they don't get the clicks, they will get fired and they will hire somebody else. So, yes, money is controlling a lot of this stuff. So you have to be aware, right? And the more you click on those things, because YouTube, like, I don't think you're evil, when you click on things that seems like it sparks off your curiosity, right? Curiosity kills the cat, right? And before you know it, you're clicking, and if you click on enough of it, guess what the algorithms are going to show you more of? Same thing. So there's this viral thing going on that it's affecting how people see marriages. So in addition to that, there are trolls, right? A job is to troll, right? That, you know, and if you're a troll, by the way, that becomes your reality. You're not getting away with jack. That will become your reality. If you're trolling and you're negative, it's like your shadow. Okay? It will follow you everywhere you go. It's not a spiritual talk, I promise you. It just has its ways of following you. Because again, remember, you're a troll, right? So you attract trolls. You know? We shall see, you know. Angela says misery love company. Yep. So you can think of that in multiple dimensions in terms of algorithms, in terms of your personal life, in terms of seeing a great news, and then because you've seen so much of these red flag things, your mind triggers in that direction because you're human like the rest of us, right? and your mind says, There are some that they pride themselves in, they are always looking to be a devil's advocate of some sort. There are people like that, right? And it's not always a deliberate thing. A lot of it is their personality, but then it's also perpetual in nature too. These are things you should pay attention to. If you know somebody that always tends to play the devil's advocate, my wife tells me I tend to play devil's advocate because I'm looking for the other side. Some people call me defensist. I'm looking like, trying to see from the other end, right? What if? And the truth is that in your personal life is a very dangerous game to play, because there's always going to be 1,020,250 what ifs. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision to move forward off of always limited information. You will never get all the information you're looking for. If you're a person that lacks faith and you can't jump off the cliff until everything aligns, you will miss out on life. So she's making a good point. Last slice. A lot of people, because they've seen all the stuff all over, it's now affecting how their outlook. Like, she I go marry now, right? Or they will use another way. It could be inverted in-out semantics to express that same point, right? But in a weird way that makes them kind of feel better. It's feelings. You just feel better. It doesn't mean that it's better, right? Hey. But yeah, that's another issue there, Intentionally positive. Being positive is very hard. It's not, I'm naturally just positive. No. Let's be guided, okay? It's a lie. All right? You have to be intentional with being positive. You have to be deliberately positive, because your mind is also curious like the rest of us. And curious, it's like, somebody went to college. You're like, okay, they're supposed to go to college. Or somebody is taking care of their children. He has 5 kids and he's taking care of his 5. He kept his family together. Like, he's supposed to do that. That's what we say. It's like, that's the bare minimum. You're supposed to say that. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. It depends on the context. If your context is you're not willing to edify that and appreciate that and have some sense of gratitude around that, it's very destructive behavior. And we can see it everywhere. People say, that's just bare minimum. She's supposed to be a wife. She did what she's supposed to do, dog. If that's your attitude about life, you will miss out. Yoruba people say, let me tell you something. You're not wiser than those proverbs. I guarantee you. I promise you. You're not. Let all that science BS on the internet fall on their face. Let me do a quick shout out to my elder Jinodu, who keeps checking on me in church. He's a big supporter of the platform. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, sir. All right, so doesn't that mean that they've got an unconscious bias against fruitful romantic marital relationship? Precisely. Yeah, because our experience, the kind of content we consume, creates bias, defaults. You don't get to control it. You're feeding your brain with this kind of stuff, right? It is what it is, right? So Angela says that's just people with control issues. Yes, it's very, very related to control behavior. I think you were talking about the forgiveness stuff. Yep, precisely. Yep. Wow, a bruised ego is a terrible thing. Yeah, ego is a big deal. I wish the celebrities were more open about their marriage struggles. If you keep showing only the rosy side, when breakup happens, people are naturally shocked. If they're going to, it's very tricky, it's very dicey. It's a very tricky and a very dicey thing, because think of it this way. Monitoring spirits no be your mate. On my fellow Jubangba, got your simbe. Suddenly. Did you see the Yomi casual stuff? We'll get, if we get time, we'll get to that, right? In the name of, let's just show them the real true picture. Let me show them everything. It's a very dangerous game to play. hit that like button. Help me hit that like button if you haven't done so. I'm being told it's low. Please hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. Share, subscribe if you're brand new here. Okay? It's a very dicey game to play. You know, you have to make sure you know what you're doing because you're still human, no matter how much you try to save the world. Now, I'm talking about me, someone like Auntie B, someone like people that are trying to help other people, right? That are trying to help other people in their relationship. People like Sahil, right? You have to be careful because you're still human like the rest of us, right? And we're subject to the same emotional triggers and stuff like that. So we have to be careful. So when anybody is on any type of stage, pedestal, or anything like that, like the celebrities, and you want them to just come out and tell all of us, you know, you have to be careful. You know, I do think there's a space for that, but it has to be guided. It's kind of like what marriage does to Kerewa, right? Same thing, right? Kerewa is a very passionate activity that we all love, but when it's not contained within the structure, within some kind of institution structure, it would destroy left and right. You can see examples everywhere. If you're in the medical field and you happen to be in a clinic where people with alternative lifestyle, sexual lifestyle and stuff like that, what we're talking about no be being so. So when we tell the ones that call themselves soccer free, we tell them like, listen, you're being stupid. It needs to, if you're going to do kerewa, don't be talking from your ass because it needs to be contained. This is when they say to a child like, hey, you don't have to rush. Take your time, right? I subscribe to that. When you're ready, but you have to be responsible. Why do we say that? Because you're now bringing another human being. Some people say soul tie. I say soul tie. Yeah, you can call it that if you want. But you're opening doors of destruction potentially, not just spiritually, even physically. We have to be careful. Right? So with celebrities coming out to say, I think all of them should be engaged and should have a retainship. I need to find the word. Retainer. Have a permanent retainer of what do you call it? Counseling. Okay, when you're in marriage and the marriage is public, you have to engage. At least both of you should be perpetual students of this kind of things we're talking about, right? That also help. Like, hey, if you tend to gist back and forth with your husband and wife, my wife and I do that a lot about relationship issues. It's a very good thing because you guys are always rubbing minds. Sometimes you disagree, sometimes you agree. Eventually, you find that it's second nature, right? Right? So, for example, the NKECHI stuff, I already run it by her. Did you see this? Did you see that? I understand most couples are not going to be that way. It's kind of like an awkward conversation. Why are you gossiping with me like that? But I'm just letting you know, if you have conversations about relationships and marriages and good with your spouse, with your partner, it's like therapy. It's a very, very good thing, you know, as long as we're not talking about arguing about your own issues, right? So, yeah, so it's a very, Toby and Tribe, shout out to you. I see you. It's a very dicey thing, right? It's very tricky, you know. Let's see. If you're here, you're watching me right now, please, like everybody else, encourage everybody else to hit that like button. All of you are helping monitoring it. That's why people tell me sometimes. So please let people know to hit that like button as they come in and stuff like that. It helps us grow the platform. And I appreciate you for that. Leila, good to see you, ma'am. She said, Leila eats and review films and TV. She says, allowing time is the key word after saying sorry for wrongdoing. Yes. If it doesn't have time, it's probably fake. And the more you press on it, the worse it gets. Fans should also stop living vicariously through celebrities. They do, right? They do, but that's unrealistic expectations of fans. That's why they're fans. They're fanatics. They have their own little bias. They have their sides they're taking and stuff. That's why I said celebrities or people, pastors. If you're a pastor and you're always on the stage preaching, you need to have permanent retainer of wise counsel for you and your wife. You need it. Because you have a massive blind spot. Yes, as a pastor, if you're on any type of stage or where there's a lot of monitoring spirits and stuff like that, they'll be the same people that will shame you when it all falls apart. And oftentimes you're not paying attention, you're oblivious to what's going on with your partner. A lot of pastors' wives or pastor prophetess husbands are suffering inside. Ask me, how do I know? Don't elevate them so much that you forget they're human too. That's true. That's true. They deserve that advice too, right? But I think it's a realistic expectation of what we call fans. But fans should be mature enough to know rosy perfection doesn't exist. They're not. It's like asking your woman, like, you should be an adult too. Nah, bro, you do carry what tomorrow at night, every night. She no be adult. I'm sorry. She's your wife. She wants to be the homie and the lover, and she wants to be able to get away with a few things. She wants to be able to. She wants to feel like you give grace sometimes. And sometimes in your measurement, you're like, no, be an adult. But bro, I think you're probably not paying attention. Okay, it's a romantic relationship. So, by the way, she feels like you're a child sometimes. Sometimes she feels like you are the child. Did you ever think that she might be feeling like you are a child? Angela say I've started. Don't mind me. Oh Lord. Spicy gist is the best kind of gist. Yeah, I agree. You know, it's something I do to my wife. So I find like those big ass emojis. I forgot what they call them now. The ones with the tongue like flipping like this. I'll just she'll be like, ew. There's this one that was floating around the internet that Don Jazzy posted with water shooting right out through the middle like this. She's like, ew, but you need that. I think we take ourselves too seriously. In romantic relationships, she need to be an adult. Bro, you're boring. You're going to collect. You're going to chop breakfast. You're boring. If all you want to do is talk serious talk all the time. No, fuck that shit, blah, 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 blah. You want to be the next Andrew Tate, Abby. You go collect. Wutu. No shade here, and I ain't about copying. I'm with you, my sister. Yes, like most bloggers put fake titles to bring in business. Yes, that's just how it works. Because when I no go click if you are, and this is business. And for example, for me, I can't afford to not get you in here past a certain point in time, because I'm a grown man with kids and family. So if I come here and I'm sharing my insights and I want us to have this conversation, bills got to get paid. I have to be able to report to myself and say, hey, that was worthwhile. Shout out to D-Love. I really, really appreciate you again. Thank you so much. Google AdSense, now your father. Waka go nonsense team. We use algorithm for promote negativity. Yes, sir. This is real. Let's continue, Auntie Nkechi. So when she's chasing her clout, she has her own little internal, what do you call it? Motive. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. Let's keep going.
Why you be say you won't look say, okay, this one married no work, your own no go work? You know waiting them don't go through. Do you know what I feel?
What do you feel, Auntie?
You know waiting they don't sacrifice to decide to part ways. These things are not easy. They are not easy. You know, let me tell you something. The beginning of your failure is when you think it won't work. But by the time you say it to yourself repeatedly with faith that my marriage will work, Now, your marriage will work.
So, in terms of telling yourself repeatedly that your marriage will work, it will work, I agree with her. But it's deep. Oh, deep. Okay? Shout out to Isemaun Omodiagbe. He or she said, why don't you talk about black parents failing parenting? The only thing I smell all over that, we should talk about that, by the way. Parenting is part of what we talk about, by the way. But the only thing I smell over that, I may be prejudging, I beg, excuse me, okay? I smell entitlement all over that, okay? But that's very unprofessional for me to be doing that. But I've seen enough that I'm very, very, very good at predicting this stuff, okay? I smell entitlement all over it. Usually when people are complaining about their parents, which I don't think that's what you're doing, hopefully, right? They have their standard of parenting based on the time we live in, and they're measuring it against 30 years ago. Yalo andio, yeah. Go match, match. So, first of all, even if you are right, which I do think you're probably right?
You're right.
The people you are talking about cannot comprehend what you are talking about. But my mother treated me this way. When I got pregnant, she's like, yes, you collected because you got pregnant at 18. What do you want her to tell you? She did not live in 2023 at the time. Did you really take the time to? Anyway, let's leave that alone, but you're right. We should talk about, we should definitely talk about. So I said collect. Is that what you guys saw? Oh, my bad. I didn't mean. I wasn't trying to collect. I don't mind collecting though. Collect. Oh, that's the thumbnail in the background. All right. So, but yes, we should talk about parenting, because parenting is kind of like romantic relationships. There's no paycheck next Friday. So when you collect big time from your teenage children, it's like, what, like, what did I do? Share. It's not just you. There's something, you're confused. It's time to learn something new. Well, good point. Isemaun, good point. Let's continue.
Love is never enough, no worry. It takes a level of patience, tolerance, and so many sacrifices to make a marriage work or a relationship. You know what's in they don't sacrifice to decide to part ways? These things are not easy. They are not easy. Let me tell you something.
So, this is the point where I shed light on this for you, right? She's right. It's not easy, right? But before we talk about it, it's not easy. Remember, I was going to talk about the fact that when you keep telling yourself that your marriage will work, it will work. Here's what that does, okay? What it does is that it starts to tamper in a good way with your mindset about marriage. You're determined, you're being intentional, you're being deliberate, right? Now, like everything else in life, that's a double-edged sword. Some people don't know, especially men. They don't know when to say, this is an evil woman, let me back off for a second so I can see what's in the happen. What they do is they engage, like this stupid guy said, you grapple like it's not going to work, right? If she's now respectful to you, if she's disrespectful, right? It's because you haven't earned respect. Okay? I know what you're about to say. Oh, today, drag and walk on you. Today. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, you want me to tell you that she's disrespectful? Okay, you're right. She's disrespectful. We don't finish. What else? Okay. Yes, she's been disrespectful. Can we talk about why she's disrespectful to you? Okay, there are two reasons. Okay, two potential reasons. Okay, it's either because she's just evil, right? Which you're probably saying she's just evil. In that case, if that's how you feel,
Oh, you're right.
But based off of what I've seen, it's a high likelihood that she's not just being evil. Okay. There's a way you have been moving, including you don't know when to back off, including you don't know how to build self-respect, including you've been engaging in toxic argument with your wife. Obviously, you lack self-respect. Including you're trying to convince her to be to see things how you see it, and you don't know. After about 2 hours of toxic argument, you don't know how to, like, let me yara my brain and have some self-respect. You don't know how to, like, babe, let me take a shower. I keep telling you that you can use it every time. Let me take a shower. Let's talk about this. I want to make sure that that I hear what you're saying. Let me take it, babe. Let me grab this call. I'll be right back. So we can sit down and talk about this and engage active listening. What do? You say, she said 10 sentences. I should be able to say 10 sentences too. So by the time she said the second sentence, you're already measuring that she'd already done utter second sentence. So what do? You're gonna do, like, you know what? Can I speak? Can I talk to? Can I say something to? She's able to disrespect you because you're worthwhile. You're exact. She's mimicking the level of self-respect you have for yourself. Is she a disrespectful person? What do you want me to tell you? I already said you are right.
You're right.
I already said you are right now. Right? But clearly, after I told you you're right, it's not solving the problem. I know what you're saying. Ola is condescending. Ola is condescending. Ola is condescending. He won't tell us what he needs to tell us. He just go in circles and circles. Alright, so here's the thing. Okay. Respect, right? When it comes to the way we crave it as men, right? I get it. We need it. We don't even realize we need it, right? But if you have to ask for it, will it work? Because why? Because it's not working. Let's finish Auntie Nkechi, because again, she has something to share with us. Anyway, if you tell yourself that your marriage is going to work, there is also a chance that you'll be willing to work at wherever you don't understand about where you find yourself, in that bottom, right? There's a chance you'll be willing to do that. There's a higher chance just because you're determined, as opposed to a lot of people these days just say, I will tolerate anything. The older you get, the more you don't want to tolerate anything naturally. So tolerance in the poto, right? So that makes sense when she said that. But let's keep going.
Or in relationship. Done. You know what's in, they don't sacrifice to decide to part ways. These things are not easy. They are not easy.
So she said it's not easy. Tell me one thing you know in life that's worthwhile, that comes easy. Tell me one thing you know in life that's worthwhile, right? Either you were talking about your career, we were talking about childbirth. Don't even let me talk about that, because I lack respect. I shouldn't even talk about that, because I will never know what that feels like. Or is it raising children, or dealing with teenagers? Every now and then I tell my boys, it's a very good boy. My children are beautiful children. And I'm like, why are you making me repeat myself? Why are you making me repeat myself? Why? Why are you doing this to me? Right? Have you ever felt that way? Right? So, I'm telling you, there's nothing that's worthwhile in life that's easy. Why should marriage be different? Oh, tell me, right? Because there's none of us here, if you're able to go past 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years of marriage, a happy marriage for that matter, right? Healthy marriage, right? That's, and you're not going to do like this. When people say, you guys are my way, I'm Oriwu now. Let's not cap, right? Let's not even cap at all, right?
Yeah. Stop the cap.
I'm Oriwu. You feel good about yourself, right? So if something is that good, in addition to you enjoying it, having someone in your corner that you can always count on, someone that's helping you, if that's worthwhile, why would anyone have such a gross, unrealistic expectation that it's supposed to be easy? Why do we need to keep preaching to ourselves that it's not easy, it's not easy, it's not easy? Like, why is this a surprise? We got serious problems. Let's keep going.
Let me tell you something. The beginning of your failure is when you think it won't work.
That's a fact. if you go into a marriage thinking it won't work, or it might not work, or you're going inside the marriage with fear motivated behaviors, right? It won't work. Because we're talking about a lifetime. It's not sustainable. You're not that capable. Oh, it's duty or responsibility. No bullshit. No. You're living a soft life. You have internet. You don't know what duty and responsibility is. The best thing you can do is positioning. Pay attention to how you position yourself. Don't position yourself to fail. So she's talking about positioning. When you start to tell yourself it can't work, or you consume, the only thing you consume is spaces where they are talking about how terrible men are or how terrible women are. Will it work? You're swimming against the trend, the one inside coming from your belly out. You will drown. You will drown. You go collect what do.
But by the time you say to yourself repeatedly with faith that my marriage will work, now and your marriage will work.
All right, so that's a good idea, but it's not enough. Obviously, some people will just tell themselves, right, and they don't know when to back off. As I was saying, a lot of men need to know how to back off. Start with things as simple as, the argument is already getting toxic. Why are you engaged in it, right? I'm not saying be dismissive, because that's also tricky. Remember, everything is a double-edged sword, right? So if you say, Allah said, don't argue with my wife, and you're just withdrawing abruptly, you're being dismissive. That will also work against you. Engage with active listening. If it's too toxic, say, hug her, pull her together, say, babe, I want to hear what you're saying clearly. All right, let me take a shower and then let's talk about it. Why are you not telling women to do that too? It's the competition with women for me. Why do you have to compete with women? Okay. All right, ladies. All you have to do is rub his head. Behind his head, okay? Rub his head. Whatever you're trying to tell him, rub his head. Make him, you don't have to say it. Make him feel like he's going to get some tonight. Oh, Ola, you don't know my husband. I know. You won't try it first. You will argue with it before you try it, Shani. After argue, argument. Try it first. And, but Ola, I tried that last night. Try it for 90 days, okay? Scantily, 2 or 3 days apart. Try it. Let's see if you have the same situation, okay? All right. And if your situation is too unique and you feel like, yeah, Allah, you just don't know, like, then book a coaching session, because I just might not know, okay? Remember, we do tend to generalize here a little bit because of the nature of a public platform, right? So, why did I leave that on the screen? Why are you calling yourself a troll? Gracious greatness, Jesus Christ. I'm not about wishing anybody badly. However, curiosity reigns supreme and you will, yes, facts. That's what I'm saying. I think majority of us were good people innately, and we don't mean any harm in anybody, but we are attracted to what we are attracted to, right? We're attracted to certainty and variety at the same time. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. They contradict each other. Security and varieties. You want to be certain, but you also want to be surprised. Confusion. I know. I understand how you feel, but that's where we are. If you trust me, trust me. Eventually, you'll be able to figure out some of these things, right? Why and how have black parents in particular failed in parenting that other races have been successful at? That's a good question. So I will need to hear more on what you're alluding to, but parenting is another beast entirely. And by the way, bad parenting can tamper with a good marriage and destroy the marriage. Welcome to the real world. Leela says, immediately click on the video to find out what is going on. Your favorite say, it is what it is. See what I'm saying? Right? It works, Marriage is not easy. May God help us all. Yeah, life is not easy. Marriage, once you align with yourself that life, like anything worthwhile in life, is not easy, then you will see that marriage is actually one of the easiest things ever. Okay, That's a leverage point. When you have a key to start a car, to turn a car over, that's what they call it, right? How simple does it become to get that engine like a nice skinny, you know what I'm saying? Like how easy does it become? It becomes super easy because what? You have the keys. You have the keys. So part of those keys, is understand life is not anything worthwhile in life is not easy. So get rid of the unrealistic expectations and you will be fine. You will find marriage the easiest thing ever. But if you bring all of your biases, like Gracious Greatness said earlier, into the table, all these negative things you hear, all this talking, you bring that into the situation and you're operating from a place of fear, you go collect. Marriage go shake you up, right? Because all those expectations you set up, they will all fall flat on their face, one after the other.
Different from blue, bulaba.
Of course, now to maintain relevance, good marriage depends on pure love, understanding. Good to see you, Vincia. I don't think I've seen that name before. Good marriage depends on pure love, understanding that you're the man and I'm the woman with the womb. We both grow together. Okay, it's a nice perspective as long as both of you subscribe to the ideology. If one person no get what you just say in the poto instantly, doesn't matter how perfect your ideologies are, right? If one person disagrees, a house divided against itself, right? Could stand, could work. Right? But good point, nonetheless. Ola, you hit the nail on the head. Respect is earned. Yes, as always. Greed is at the end of every downfall. You call it greed. I think we're saying the same thing. I think what we call it here is number 4, pride. What some people will call ego. Pride is 100%, the one we call ego, is 100% destructive. 100%. Even when you're right, even when you mean well.
Oh, you're right.
So let's say you mean well, right? And you're doing the right thing and you're like, my parents did this and it worked for them. And then you happen to be with a person that just, for some reason, you might want to call it evil. I think it's probably not evil. For some reason, they're not aligning with your ideologies, right? How is that house going to stand? I'm asking. How?
Need them and do it yourself. How, Sway?
How would that house stand? No, you're right. Right? But somehow the other person, something is not aligning. And you being a normal human being, you get caught up in your emotions like the rest of us, you have the resentment. It almost seems like you're the only one that's always saying, I'm sorry. Right? What do you do normally, typically? If you haven't had this experience, you start to overreact. Right? Everybody's in the poto. Anyway, Toby and Tribe says, please, sir, can you explain why men need respect? I keep hearing that. It's part of the social construct. And social construct is like it's like the ocean, the wave of the ocean. In its own very weird way, it's actually feminine too. Yeah, it has a feminine nature to it, meaning it really doesn't care about how you feel, or men should just get themselves together. Why should I rub their ego? It actually doesn't give a shit about that. If that's your husband, he needs respect like the rest of us. How does he know? Because if he smells like you're not, if he feels like you don't need him, it's a very tough battle hill to climb. It's a big ocean trend, and if you try to swim against it, you will drown. You would drown yourself, you would drown him, you would drown your whole family, and worst, you would drown your children in that chaos. But when you understand it as, hey, it is what it is. It's just our social construct. It's just the way, men need, because of the social construct, they've always been, the leader of the household. So they subscribe to that, and, it makes them feel even better. Just feel better. Why? Why do we have to care about all the whys? Like, why? I care about why too. Everything that we do here is about the whys. But at some point, you just have to trust that you will get the results you're looking for. Let's pay attention to the result you're looking for. You're looking for a man who feels good about being in a relationship with you as a woman. A typical woman, a typical man. I am not talking about the exceptions to the rules. I know they exist, but that's why they call them exception, right? But anytime you say, Olowo Orimi, he does something to him. I don't even know what it is. Like, do we need a reason? Do we need to know why Olowo Orimi, my husband, does something to his brain and make him want to drop his wallet for you? Or you just want the wallet? Which one? Do you want me to spend the next 2-3 days trying to get you to see why? Or you just want to, like, you know what? It does something to him, right? For those of us that are Nigerians, right? You go to those parties, people start to spray money, yeah. What happens? I know that somebody's sitting down and saying, I forgot to bring some singles. I forgot to bring some. What do they spend in Nigeria now? 200, 500 naira, whatever, right? Hey, babe. Right? I forgot to bring some. He started looking for ATM because he likes the way that guy is singing. He wants. That's what respect from somebody's wife does to them. I've just explained it, but if you need more explanation than that, I don't know, maybe that's the problem. We're overthinking everything. Actually, it's not just men. There are things you do to a woman, right, that makes her feel special, makes her feel good. Whatever that is your responsibility. No, I didn't say it's your fault. I said it's wise to make it your responsibility to find out what that is for your particular wife and do it from time to time. Why? Because you get more of what you want. Shikena, right? So I think that's more than enough explanation. Would you say, Toby and Tribe? Good to see you, by the way. The Gracious Grace says words in the dictionary are easier to look up than before. That's something that is now easy. Abby, I guess. Ola, I'm all about energy, and whatever you give me is what I will return to you. Most women, we actually multiply it and give you exactly what you give them. If she's a typical woman, I agree with that. Waiting Baba Tinubu they talk. Bala blue. He said bala blue. Anybody ever found out what that means? Vicia says when someone cheats on their partner, that is greed. They want more than they bargained for. They're no longer together.
Well, you're right.
You're right. You're right. When someone cheats on their partner, that is greed. Is that all? I'm asking. If that's all for you, you're right.
Well, you're right.
If that's all for you, you're right. The only thing that I would say you should do to such a partner, right? I mean, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but let me know how you feel about it, right? If a partner is greedy and they want more than they can bargain for, I don't know what you mean by they can bargain for, but clearly they bargained it and they cheated, right? So clearly it's not exactly more than they can bargain for. But what do you mean by more than they can bargain for? Oh, now it's making sense. There you go. He says 1 plus 1 equals to 2, not 1 plus 1 equals to 11. Yes. Now that's making sense. But that's not reality. That's just math. When we're talking about romantic relationships, 1 plus 1 is not equals to 2. There's an X factor. There's the unknown. There's an unknown. There's something you don't know. You see, when you conclude that you know everything, then this statement becomes even more so absolutely correct. Right? But if you keep an open mind and say, without thinking anybody is victim shaming you, by the way, right? Because if you think somebody is victim shaming you in what I'm saying right now,
you're right.
You would also be right too. And I can't argue with that. But just in case you're open-minded, let me say this. Just in case you're open-minded, because we'll try to keep an open mind so we can receive more in terms of knowledge and wisdom, right? So, first of all, the absolute statement is that cheating is wrong. That's an absolute statement. Okay? But the issue is the X, the unknown factor. The unknown factor, let's not even talk about your partner yet. There's a way you feel about this, right? This messes with you. It messes with potentially your future relationships because you can't trust anymore. Even though your future relationship has nothing to do with your present relationship, 1 plus 1 end up in the potter because you're not supposed to take this experience to that next relationship. It's supposed to be this 1 plus that new person should be equals to 2 now, and it should be perfect, especially if they're a perfect being. What do we know about human beings? There's no such thing as perfect human beings, right? Could work, could exist, could work. You know what I'm saying? The absolute statement, let me reverse back because this is the part where some people take it, it becomes a little bit weird. The absolute statement is that cheating is wrong. Cheating, stealing, and lying will always be wrong. But if that was enough, what you would do is you would pack your bags and you will leave that person. You would say, hey, I can't deal with that. You would just leave, right? In that case, you'll be correct for yourself. But what do we know about many, many human beings out there? They're not able to leave regardless because 1 plus 1 equals to 2 in the potter. Because hey, if you cheated on me, clearly that's just wrong. We should just leave. The way I understand it, right? Common sense is a terrible guide to relationships, romantic relationships particularly. Okay? Terrible guide. Terrible. We have to be careful with common sense. We all have it. Who are you going to argue with that they don't have common sense? Tell me, is it your cheating partner that you will tell them they don't have common sense? I mean, is it your cheating partner that don't know that what they were doing is wrong? Right? Your cheating partner, particularly, they were probably enjoying their misbehavior more so because it's actually wrong. Did you ever think about that? That they actually enjoy the fact that it's wrong. They were enjoying it. After they get caught, they may not say, please forgive me, because it doesn't feel like, because now it's in the open, there's no more secrets, right? But the secret effect in it is gone. What we call the secret affair, right? The effect of the secret affair is gone, right? So they might beg you or tell you to hell with you or go find another girlfriend so that they can keep the secret alive. Because remember Judy, right? Judy go end up in potter because it's no longer secret. Because what he was probably enjoying was the secret, right? The fact that you hide inside closet and do it. You didn't think that's a thing that people enjoy, right? Yeah. One plus one is not equals to 2. It's X. It's hidden. It's someone's childhood trauma. It's what they learned. It's what they think is going to help them feel better. They haven't felt right. You haven't been paying attention. No, they're just an evil person. That's also possible. Right? we know that it's a fact that they committed a behavior that's wrong. But if you keep an open mind, maybe you won't attract people that cheat on you. Just maybe. Okay? Just maybe. Okay? Because the idea that you keep an open mind shows up in other aspects of your life. Okay? Not just in, oh yeah, but people that will cheat will always cheat. Actually, that's not necessarily true. It could be true. It's not always true. Sometimes your wife cheated on you because you haven't paid attention. And sometimes she cheated because she's just a cheater. I know. But if you haven't assessed the other side of things and you stay there, don't you see that you continue to punish yourself? Because in one breath, you're telling yourself that she's just wrong. But in the other breath, you're staying there. If 1 + 1 = 2, you should just leave her alone. Because clearly, at the very minimum, you can agree that they don't respect you. At the very minimum, you can agree that they don't respect you. Anyway, I don't know the particular stories. Everything I said can end up in a poto for all I care until we know the particular story, that personal story that we're talking about. We need to be careful with generalizations. Okay? All right, Toby and Tribe says she understands now. Leela says, I don't entirely agree because people cheat for valid reasons, even though cheating is not right. Exactly. We agree that cheating is wrong. The idea that cheating is due to just outright greed, yeah, that ends in the poto all the time, particularly by how people respond to their partner cheating. They stay, right? They stay and they continue to perpetuate, and they never ask questions. They make their own lives miserable. They stay in that relationship to make their lives miserable. And yeah, it's not simple. We need to know the story. That's what I'm saying. That's all I've been trying to say. Okay. Cheating makes my screen crawl though. That's normal now. It's like ew. That's normal. It's normal for cheating to make your skin crawl, right? Because you're feeling it as you're on the receiving end of it. The people where they do harm, they are participating in bad behavior because something doesn't feel right with them. They have a void, right? Doesn't make it not wrong, but there's a void they're clearly trying to fill, okay? And sometimes you're not capable of filling that void for them. Sometimes you just have been oblivious. Like, let me tell you this, ladies. A lot of women put their children over their husbands. Oh, but he's a man, it's not supposed like, yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of men that you know, if he has a permanent side chick for the past 10 years like yo, that speaks volumes. Okay? Yol is not just a bad person. It's just another man who is confused. There's a void that person was feeling. Oh, he's just indisciplined. You could say that two things can be right at the same time. Two things can be correct at the same time. Okay? Because he could also say, hey, let's talk about it. I feel like he could have that conversation. But a lot of this conversation, many of you know what I'm talking about, becomes a very awkward conversation, especially if the other person is not open-minded. If I come to you and say, hey, babe, you know, this Kiriwa thing, it's been like a week and a half. And you're like, can't you see that I'm busy? All this kind of, if that's how you reply, if he's weak enough to shy away from that conversation, is it just greed now? If there's an open opportunity in the break room at work, the same person you keep seeing at the job for the last 5 years? How many X factors have I highlighted so far that makes 1 + 1 not equals to 2? How many? Anybody want to guess? How many X factors have I highlighted so far? Things that should be just awareness. They're not absolute truth. Just awareness. Okay? It's only Tinubu that can answer that. Ain't that a word?
Different from blue. Bulaba.
Ain't that a word? That is a word. Oh Lord. Let's see here. I'm woo. I'm 1 + 1 = 2, respectively. I expect the same for togetherness to move forward. Yeah, that's that expectation thing. Expectation when it comes to romantic relationships in the butter all the time. Number 3, you see that on the screen? Keep coming around. We have more to talk about, I'm sure. Keep coming around. Expectation in the butter all the time. Angela said Ojuko Kuro covetousness. Yes, remember 2 things can be right at the same time. Remember I said I played you are right twice. Because people's experience are people's experience. How they feel is how they feel. It becomes the truth, especially if it hasn't been acknowledged properly. It becomes the truth because they will react accordingly. So if like, no, but you're wrong. Ola said cheating, there's a good reason to cheat. How your wife feels, how she feels. You will collect. If she feels like it's greed and you keep arguing with her for 2 hours that it is not greed, you will collect. That needs to be acknowledged. There's a reason why she feels how she feels. Feelings on the other side of you, not yours, okay? Yours should be managed. But the other side of it can dictate the direction of your relationship. So you have to acknowledge it and have that conversation. If she feels like it's greed and you say, no, but it's not greed. You haven't, you always put a wig on. I don't like that wig, smells all the time. And you remember you're right too, right? But you need to elevate that conversation because clearly it could work. 1 + 1 = 2 in the butter all the time. That part I disagree with when it comes to romantic relationships. 1 + 1 is not equals to 2. Please don't tell yourself that again. That's a very good way to fail in relationships. 1 + 1 is not equals to 2. Okay, that's a way of being close-minded and saying there's no X factor. There's nothing else for me to learn. It's just what it is. That's a very easy way to fail in romantic relationships. Keep an open mind is all I'm trying to tell you. Don't bring math like on face value into romantic relationships. It never works. Okay. The man said, blah, blue, blah, blah. You're right. And I'm not supporting cheating in the general sense, but I have made bestie that is very candid about not getting regular Kiriwa because his wife isn't in the mood. You know, I understand why most women may not be in the mood. I understand also why a man who is not getting Kiriwa, who is being presented on a silver platter in a break room is like, damn, right? Am I giving excuses for it? You're also right. You're right.
You're right.
I'm not trying to give excuse for it. I'm just trying to have you keep an open mind that ladies, you two, you're responsible for how your partners feel in the relationship. And it's very important that you take that responsibility because it keeps you in control. It gives you power. Now you know that you can affect the direction of your relationship. As opposed to, no, he should just be a man. That's another way of saying I don't want power. And when you disengage from your powers, hey, then you should be okay with the breakfast. That's all I'm saying. Okay? You should be okay with that. Oh, he has a high drive, so he would want her because he loves his wife. However, she no agree. It happens all the time. 20%. 1 out of every 4 marriages are in sexless marriages. Kiriwa-less marriages. Okay? What is Kiriwa-less marriages? Anything over 3 months. They go 3 months, they don't do it. How many marriages do you think end up in that? Somebody say, only Tinubu can answer that too. How many marriages do you think go 3 months on a regular basis with no Kiriwa? And it's not really medical reasons. How many would you guess? How many?
Different from blue. Bulaba.
Yeah. So, why can't he exit the marriage instead of he is happy and unfulfilled? I already answered that question. Sometimes the secret effect is actually much more powerful than Kerewa itself. If you find yourself in bad behavior, it's like drugs. You know, it wears off. You ever heard that thing they call the post-nut clarity? It will wear off once the secret is over. Sometimes people end up in a secret affair, and it actually is better than, it's better than what you would have with her, with that sorry, ajegba mapamije type of Kerewa. You know that type? The one where you say, just come and take. Who wants that type of Kerewa? Just come and take, baby. Let me tell you something. When somebody feels wrong, they will do all the wrong things. That's the point I'm saying. Okay? When they feel wrong, ladies, you can understand this. When you feel wrong, you become disrespectful. Right? And then it's like, let me ask for respect. And then it gets worse. Right? Yeah. So when you're aware of these things, you're better off mitigating it outside of but you should just do the right thing. Like, for example, you just spelled out the right thing. I don't disagree that it's right. If that's the case, just exit. That would be a person doing the right thing. They don't feel right. They're not going to do the right thing. They're going to do everything that's wrong. How many human beings do you know that will do everything that's wrong when they don't feel wrong? Every one of us. Especially when we're talking about romantic relationships. Every one of us. Okay? Sorry about the Yoruba. I will see. What did I say in Yoruba? What did I say? Anybody help me? I don't remember what I said. I think I said Ajegba Makpamije. That means like witch, come and take. Don't eat me up, or don't buy me at night, or something like that. Like, it's like saying, just come and take. You know what I'm saying? Just come and take. Just like that. You know? Yeah, so it feels wrong. Nobody wants that. Men want to feel wanted. Just in case you didn't know, men also want to feel wanted. Okay? Duty and responsibility in the poto all over again. If you do Kerewa out of duty and responsibility, he doesn't want it. Because he also wants variety. As much as he brings certainty, structure, security, order into the situation, he wants his fancy to be tickled a little bit sometimes. Like, he wants the surprise effect. Right? Just in case you didn't know, now you know. Okay? I don't accept any excuse as far as cheating. No, you shouldn't. Okay? There's no excuse for cheating because it's wrong. Your excuses are not relevant to cheating because it's just wrong. What I'm telling you is that wrong concept collects, right? That's what I'm telling you. I don't know if you get it to, I don't know, Angela, I need to pull you here so you can understand all the way, right? Wrong concept collects wuto. Right? Cheating and excuses are not relevant. They're not, okay? Because you cheat.
You're right.
Stealing and excuses are not relevant. Lying and excuses are not relevant. Oh, Jora one now. They're not the same. They're not in the same lane. Like, don't even bring it in. But when people start to mansplain or shalaye like I'm doing right now, Jesus Christ, of why cheating happens, if this is your partner and you're not going to leave, you might want to pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Are you encouraging bad behavior? No, I'm saying you are encouraging bad behavior by being dismissive. No paychecks on Friday. There's no paychecks on Friday. That's all I'm saying. Vixia says, so marriage that seems to be trial and error. No, it's a move of faith. It's a journey of faith. You need to be able to trust. You need to be able to be vulnerable to make it work, because that's what makes the other person, gives them the ability to be able to serve you, serve your emotions. If you have all of the answers, if you have all of the questions answered, marriage, not just marriage, romantic relationships are pointless. Because you could just do kerewa in the street and go back home and do kerewa in the street. But when you engage romantic relationships with people, it's because you have a need to trust, to engage a journey of faith. Where that means you don't have all the answers, but butterflies, I feel good about this situation, right? That's the whole point. Once all the questions are answered, it's pointless for the human brain. It makes sense, right? It's not trial and errors. It's a wrong language. That's not relevant. It's a journey of faith, like life itself. Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow morning? Are you going to wake yourself up in the morning tomorrow? I'm guessing not. Who do you expect to wake you up in the morning? Your son, your children, yours? God, Abby. Whatever it is that you call God will just wake you up in the morning. Is that guaranteed? No, now. That's what we call the human experience. That's what makes it beautiful. That's why we hurt so bad when there's betrayal, right? You need to understand these things so that you can engage your service, part of the brain. So you can engage like, I'm going into a romantic relationship, I want to serve because they're human. You don't have to overthink it. You just have to also have the manage expectations of this other human being. They are not God. They're not God. If they don't feel right, they can't do anything that's right. They can, but the chances get lowered just a little bit, right? They might just be in that space as duty and responsibility. I'm just going to do the right, honorable thing. But if they keep feeling wronged, they will justify wrong things. Human beings operate out of their emotions. They will justify doing the wrong thing if they have to. They will tell you to hell with it. Okay? How many people saw the video of Brian Moore justifying calling all the indie Igbo to hell with it? Human beings, no be your mates. Have a managed expectations of human beings, of yourself. Okay? That 1+1 mindset, you can't sustain it. You fall on your face all the time. You put yourself on that pedestal, you're going to fall off. You can't keep it up. Because why? Because you're not perfect either. Yours is not cheating. Is you just roll your eyes small like that. And the other person, the way they feel it, they remember when their stepmother used to roll their eyes and it triggers them in the wrong way. 1+1 is suddenly not equals to 2. Go deep. Blessed, good to see you. I knew I had a blessed here. Thank you all for your wisdom, Ola. I am learning so much. How do you turn things around if you have been disrespectful to your man for a long time? Any tips? Wow, that's a fantastic question. All right, so if you've been disrespectful for a long time, there's a reason why you were disrespectful. There's a book called Lead with the Why. I'm yet to read it. I have a feeling I know what's in the book. All right, but I've always been a person who pay attention to the whys. Why? To a fault, because that can also cripple you. Because sometimes you keep asking too many whys and you don't take action. That's also a bad idea. Everything in life is a double-edged sword. But a lot of people don't even ask any why. They just conclude 1+1 equals to 2. No shots at Vincia. Shout out to you, Vincia. Thank you so much for inspiring this session. Right? They just conclude. Because there's nothing else, but you should ask why. Why have you been disrespected? Right? Disrespectful to him. Why did you? Because there's something that made it right in your mind, even though obviously it's like drugs. It feels right in the moment, but it feels wrong after the fact. It's like you're bloated after you drank soda, even though you enjoyed the moment, you enjoyed the gas, the effect of it, right? But after a while, you're all gassy and you're not comfortable, or you eat something that makes you feel bloated, or you take alcohol that makes you feel a hangover on the second morning, and you notice, but because of the high, you enjoy the high, you stay in it, right? What is it about the high that makes you stay in it? Is it a way of justifying yourself? Do you feel like you don't have a say? Do you feel like he doesn't respect you too, right? Do you feel like you don't have a voice in the household? Do you feel, there's a feeling, there's something there, right? You need to find out what that is, right? Or is that just what you grew up learning? Some people, they grew up seeing disrespectful women. So if a man is taking too long to do what they think is the right thing to do, they just go right into that disrespectful mode, right? You need to identify what that is. I don't know the next step until you identify what that is. Okay? So there's something personal in your own world that makes you become disrespectful. You need to sit with yourself and assess that and process it. And if you're having a hard time doing that, then you need to engage wise counsel. We do have coaching here. You just have to go through loveandprestige.com. You will see it scrolling on the screen and you can book a session. Okay? But we need to know the why. Okay? Once you determine the why, then we draw out a 90 days plan or how you're going to change that. It's about habits. Habits are not going to be changed overnight, right? Because 1 + 1 is not equal to 2, right? Habits are not going to be changed overnight. It's going to be, you have to position yourself for that change that you're looking for. So hopefully that helps, okay? Ola, please translate the Yoruba to English. So the Yoruba to English, what did I say again? Yeah, I already said it. The Ajekila no Omo Kuloni. No. Ajegma ma pamije. That means just come and take. Somebody's asking you for something over and over, and just come and take it. So somebody's asking you for kerewa, and you're like, okay, just come and take it. Nobody wants that kind of kerewa. Okay, well, some may, but I don't. I know most men don't like that. They like to be engaged. They like to feel wanted too, right? Hopefully that helps. Hey Durrell, good to see you, man. Shout out to Durrell. Hit that like button, I beg. Angela, his wife, fulfills him in every way except kerewa. Is that a reason to walk away from the marriage? No, men won't walk away from a marriage, especially if they are kids. You're taking care of my kids. I must just have you take care of my kids. And then I'll find other ways to take care of myself. Is it wrong? Yes, you're right. It's wrong. Okay? Now, if he's a strong enough man, he knows that he will collect too, because that's a terrible way of living life. That's low quality of life. Okay? He should definitely face the hard conversation and have it, But I have to be honest with you, a lot of women are not open to the idea of feeling attacked. Remember, not attacked, feeling attacked. The key word being feeling, right? It's like you're questioning my womanhood. You're questioning my wifehood. Like, so what I'm doing is not enough, right? And if you react long enough, this is the point where some of the men may be right about he wants his peace of mind. Ultimately, he might just... He will, the word I'm looking for is that he will consolidate in his mind, like, you know what, let me just take care of myself. Let me have him taking care of my kids, and no, it's not gonna pull the trigger on the marriage for that. Like, why? First of all, a lot of men don't feel like career-wise is what makes a marriage. I'm being honest with you. I know you think, career-wise, just marriage. No, career and marriage, career means sex, by the way. Career and marriage is not, they're not synonymous, okay? Not to men especially, okay? If your man wants you and he wants career from you, he wants you, has nothing to do with the marriage. He could just want any other chick off the streets like that. I know for women it's a little bit different, because women need to kind of like be engaged emotionally with you to do that, right? For most men, no. Okay? The care what he's doing with you as a wife is emotional in nature. It's because it feels connection with you. And if you don't respect that and you're like, oh, you should just do the right thing, bro, it was all wrong already. It's already wrong. What are you talking about? Right? And yes, both of them could be very, very good people. I keep telling you that good people end up in the divorce court all the time. All the time. All right? Letting you know. Okay? Let's get off that high horse. Okay? What if there's no chemistry? Do you need that to sustain marriage? Or are there other important factors? That's a good question. So for your if you have questions, make sure you started with Q so I can identify it earlier enough. Started with Q. Now, it depends. For most people, yes. Even women, okay? Even women. But women can have that phase where they're concerned about is just their children and just life stuff, and it's like the last thing on their mind. They can have a phase like that. But chemistry is necessary. Physical sexual attraction is necessary for most people. Okay. All right. And here's the thing: if you're okay with your partner stepping out in terms of kerewa, I doubt if you're okay with that. But if you're okay with that and both of you agree to that, remember the issue here is a house divided against itself. No matter how perfect your ideology is, if the other person does not subscribe to it, your relationship is in the poto instantly. There might be a lagging indicator. It may not show up until 3 years later, 5 years later, some people 20 years later. But the house divided against itself cannot stand. That's the main issue. So some people say, but some people don't mind. They could go 6 months. Like, hey, I don't know anyone personally, and I have a lot of conversations. Okay. But listen, if both of you subscribe to that, I agree. Because the main issue again is being on the same page with respect to very, very important aspects of these things. And yes, the answer is that chemistry is very, very important for most people. Particularly if you're asking this question, it's important to you too. Or at least it's important to your partner. Maybe your partner has been complaining and you're like, but now food? Is it food? You're like, clearly it is food for that person, right? So again, I was divided against itself because it lasts. Okay, then somebody start creeping and start doing things, potentially bring a disease home for you. The disease are crazy. They are going wild out there, right? Don't be saying that to your partner. Say now food. Don't say that. If it's a point of contention for them, sit together. There's actually, we find a way to partner with someone soon. There are actual what do you call them? There are sex therapists out there. All right. If you're not close-minded, now sex therapists become the X factor, right? That can actually help you guys become a little bit more fulfilled in that area. Yes, even if you have 2 or 3 kids you're taking care of, there may be some aspect where it needs to help you so that when it's time for the career, you're open to it. You might have to move it into the morning. You might want to do it then in the middle of the afternoon if you guys have that lifestyle, right? Everyone's case is different. But the answer to the question is that if anyone is asking this question, that's your first indication is very, very important. The fact that the question exists becomes the answer to the question, right? Because this whole issue, all these issues is because there's another human being involved. You might have your own ideology, but there's another human being involved. So it's not just how I feel. That's why I said when you have expectations, you have to manage it and you have to give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Wait, Ola, that's not balanced. Go balance. Why should I manage my expectation and give them the freedom to express their expectation? Right? Life no balance. Okay? Focus on the results you're looking for. Okay? Focus on the results you're looking for. Okay? Because if you're obsessed with being right, remember.
You're right.
You're right. But after we notice you're right now, can we now talk about the results you're looking for? Right? Right? But Ola, are you saying I should compromise my standards for the result I'm looking for? I beg, listen to what you just said. Listen to the question. Are you saying I should compromise my standards for the result I'm looking for? Wait. There's a result you're looking for. The question is, how valuable is the result you're looking for? Right? What does it mean for you? Can you let go of the results? Then there's no need for answering that question. Because all you have to do is don't compromise your standard and there's no result. I don't want that result anyway. Oh, I want the result. Oh, yeah, that's a price. Yeah? So it's a matter of cost, benefits, right? And then after you've assessed this kind of things, then you might have All right, I guess. All right. I hate the idea of rights. Everything is a privilege. You have to think from a gratitude standpoint, right? You might not have the right to tell me 1 + 1 = 2. That means you've done all the math. You figured out all the factors, all the variables. Maybe, even at that, I doubt it. But you have to keep an open mind. You have to keep an open mind. That's the best way to live. People will bring goodies to you if you keep an open mind. You won't have to do so much work. You're overworking yourself with that 1 + 1 = 2 mindset. You're overworking yourself. What if the X factor is like, hey, you know what? Why should 1 + 1 = 1 when I could just bring my 1 and add another 1 to it and then it can become 11? And then because I understand people are going to multiply this other 10 that I added to it, and then it becomes 100 for me, not 2. Did you think of it that way? You have to stay focused on giving, not give and take. Oh, hola. Are you kidding me? I can't do give and take 2. I can't do give and take 2. You should then look into a polygamous arrangement rather than cheating. Cheating and polygamous are not related. They're two parallels. They're not the same thing. Remember the secret affair? Polygamous is like food chest, right? That's why Judy is going to collect. Polygamous is food chest, okay? They're not the same thing. They are two parallels. Cheating and polygamy are, particularly with respect to marriage practice, they're two different things. Let's stop bringing them together. I know we tend to do that a lot. Cheating brings in too many issues, diseases, spiritual issues, drama from the outside to the partner. Yeah, I know. Particularly why people engage in it. It's bad habits. It's bad behavior. But remember, when people have a void to fill, they will feel it. Especially if you're going to be like, to hell with it, and you don't want to pay attention to your partner's emotional needs. Why? Because everyone should make themselves happy. We know that, but you might be oversaying that. Okay? We know that, but maybe you shouldn't be saying that. Maybe you're just selfish. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. Angela, if the wife no agree, what then? Yeah, it's a very tough thing, you know. That might go hard, because issues will eventually raise their heads. Last like you collect. Everybody will collect. That's a fact. That's why don't wait until things are bad before you start paying attention. A lot of us wait until we get rejected and then we're now obsessed. Don't wait until then before you stop saying give and take. There's nothing wrong with give and take, but I find that it ends in the poto all the time. It's people that have gone through poto that keep saying that. Obviously, it's not working. You should focus on giving. Ola, but what if you keep giving, and this other person is not? Then start giving to yourself. Stay focused on giving. People will only mimic the level of self-respect and self-love you have for yourself. Stop giving so much to the other person to the point that you start resenting them. That's not, if you're giving and resenting, that's not giving. Give to yourself. You can't give what you don't have, right? But Take has this mindset of competition. And romantic relationships and competition don't work well. You know, it's a healthy competition. Okay, then you say healthy competition, you're being deliberate, intentional, sure. But what most people mean take is that they sit down there, they expect and they're angry that they're not able to take. It just makes it worse. I don't know if you can comprehend what I'm saying. It makes things worse. Instead of you engaging that, I'd rather you engage giving to yourself. You were thinking about ordering these shoes for him. and you're already feeling like you're resenting him because he doesn't seem to reciprocate, order some shoes for yourself. Okay? And then order some kind of individual therapy, coaching, counsel for yourself, because you might need it. You can't give what you don't have, right? Oh, Homo, I agree with you. Even if the wife accepts, she will resent him later. Yes. That's what I call a jegba mapamije. You know, women that can say, just come and take it. You end up resenting the person that take it now. Plus, he didn't enjoy it. It was terrible. Okay? It was terrible. It's probably the worst he's ever had. Right? Maybe they can see a Kerewa therapist. Yes. Yes. I will see if we can partner with one here so that we can have that available, because I think it's affecting no, it's stats. Actually, 1 out of every 4 marriages are going through that. But it's not always for the most part, it's not anybody's fault. It's just people don't know what they don't know. Okay? There's childbirth, right? There's he's going through stuff at work, and there's 2,000 other reasons beyond it's just evil or she's evil why Kerewa may end up in the poto. See finish comes in 2,000 different ways. Okay? It's not just marriage, it's everything in life that's readily available. You start taking it for granted. You don't value it anymore. And then you start looking for people to reciprocate equally. And then you call it give and take. You take your eyes off the ball, which is you play the offense. Right? No. I made you mine. I'm going to keep making you mine. There's a way I dressed up that I made you mine. There's a way that I smell good that I made you mine. People forget all of that stuff. They become complacent. Right? The other platform, we talk about the evil people. Okay? Over here, I'll tell you, like, listen, good people end up in poto all the time. Good people do the wrong things sometimes. Many times. When it feels right. Okay? Just letting you know. Wife can pick up tips on how to up. Yeah, that helps. That helps. Because what? Because that throws some spice in there. Because mostly the man will initiate. Because he's thinking about Kerewa quite a few times during the course of a day, right? But when you initiate as a woman, you want to spice up your marriage? Just try initiating. Just try. Oh, but I initiate all the time, but he doesn't want. Oh. Try not initiating. Flip it. Just flip it. Let him wonder, what the hell? She normally would have. What's going on? Flip it. Just try that. Okay? Thank you, Jared D. Love. My Yoruba is terrible. Yeah, Ajegba Mapamije means fine, just take it. It's a bad idea. Completely bad idea. Oh wait, it's 7:08 already. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay, let me run through this. Exactly, STDs are plenty. Yeah. I was getting disrespectful because of his unstable finances. And I had to support him a lot. I am 24, he's 26. I was trying to build with him, but it made me resentful. I became the provider. That will do it. That will do it. Okay. So in that case, what I will suggest, again, we need to dig deeper. There's no one-liners that can give me the full gist, right? But I would definitely suggest engaging in the process of getting his finances better. Okay. But I will be careful with your expectations. Some people married the person they married and they want something else out of it. Okay? If it was a plumber and he was making $40,000 a year, you need to be okay with that. If you're more ambitious, that could be a gift to your union. Focus on working on your gift. If there are people that have the exceptions like that, where they're bringing in, right? Focus on that and just learn to appreciate him for who he is. If that's the case, if it's a situation that he used to do better, and he's no longer doing okay, and it's a temporary situation, then you need to engage him in helping him with that, right? Now, hopefully he's open to the idea, but you just need to pay a little bit of attention to where he will be willing to receive the help. Some men don't want you to help in a way where you're dictating, because there's a good chance that if you're resenting, you will end up acting like you're dictating stuff to him, and that will make him resent. That's not going to work either. You need to do some work of finding where he can receive your help more. It could be in keeping the books. It could be there's so many aspects to a business or to a person's income, and find a way to help him. It could be submitting resumes. Okay, babe, let me help you with that resume. What else? Is there a way I can help you submit or something like that? If you want to help with that, you need to engage it from that standpoint. Now, here's the last point I'm going to give you. Anything you do that lacks purpose, you will resent. If you haven't spent the time to visualize what it feels like to be on the other hand of this misery that you guys are going through, you will resent the process. The process will always be too long, right? Even if the process is only 2 days, it will always be too long. Why? Because you're disconnected from the main purpose. If you need to put up vision boards, some lame men will say, what's that vision board stuff? That's lame. Stop the cap or whatever. Some people say they like to keep journal. Says stop that. Some people talk like that. They're stupid. But whatever will help you visualize the result you're looking for, you need to create it. Make vision boards if you need to. Keep a journal if you need to. Engage him at that level where he's willing to receive it. Some men don't mind you engaging them and telling them what to do, right? But telling him what to do and suggesting how to navigate can be the same thing, but it can feel different. You know what I mean? So you just have to pay attention to that part of it. So if you're helping with the bills right now and his finances, I can understand. But let me tell you something, there's nothing in the streets, okay? If he's a good man and it's just you're resenting and because of finances, money come and go. I promise you guys will be 24, 26, you will be fine. You will look back on this, you will smile, you'll be happy you stick it all the way through, and don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Resenting a person when they promise, especially if they promise that they will do this and that, it's only natural. I can't judge. No one should judge you for that. He shouldn't be judging you for that. But just be aware that humans are humans. But this too shall pass. If you walk away from this with anything at all, or if you don't, walk away with this, right? Identify what it will look like, what it looks like on the other side of what you're going through right now. Make it a vision board. Point A, point B, right? That process will become a lot more easier when you can see the picture of where you're going. That process, no matter how short it is, will make you resent yourself if you don't identify a purpose. Hopefully that helps. All right. You're not a bad wife or person for feeling like that. We ladies are not wired to provide and lead the family unit, and there's absolutely nothing wrong expecting that he leads and take care. Yes. He's getting more stable, but I am still disrespectful unconsciously. Well, become conscious. Awareness is key. At least you are aware right now, and create a plan for yourself. Speaking to him, speaking to his life. Pray for him, right? Say, babe, let's pray in the morning. If you don't mind, I'd like to pray for you every day. You'll be shocked what that can do, right? Just join hands together with him and pray for him, right? You have that power. You have that anointing over your head to pray for him, by the way, right? And if he tends to joke around it or is that kind of guy or something like that, get on your knees and pray for him, right? But like Angela said, you're not abnormal. You're not abnormal. And don't be so hard on yourself, okay? But unconsciously, now we've killed that unconscious part. Unconsciously is real, but once you've set it out like that, we've killed it. Now you have to set out a 90 days plan on how to operate in short term, also in long term. Okay. All right. I need to make the switch in my head and start treating him like the man again, but I don't know how. The vision board will help. Okay. It's time away from being disrespectful. Okay. Try the vision board stuff or a journal, write out and stuff like that. And then I think there's a good chance you're disengaged from your own purpose as a woman. Because how do you have time for so much BS? Right? That's something you should ask yourself. You might be too less busy too. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Positioning is key in everything. It's always key not to put yourself on a pedestal that you are able to just turn off consciousness. You have to position yourself for the result you're looking for. okay? Because you're a human like the rest of us, okay? However, he's making efforts, you can see, to up his finances in order to step up and be the man you desire. You need to engage those efforts and engage it, write it down, do whatever you have to do to feel it on a regular basis, you know. Well, I don't know enough, by the way, I still don't know enough to be able to make too much assertions here. She said, thank you. Relationships are so complicated. No, you are complicated. We are complicated people. That's why. Okay? Relationships and marriages, start telling yourself they're the easiest thing to do. Start working on yourself. They become easier. Okay? Relationships is not a person. Marriage is not a person. We are the people in it. And if you engage self-development on a constant, regular basis, it will be well. This turned out to be a masterclass. All right. But let me see a couple of things here. Let's let's take another 15 minutes to round up. Okay, about 15 minutes to round up, right? Let's do that. All right, shout out to Instablog Nigeria. There are a couple of things that I have here that I thought, we should cover. Let's see, before we leave. Okay, so no, I don't care about this story. This has nothing to do with nothing. This is nosy issues. Okay, it says, dear gay man, today is a good day to divorce your wife. Set that woman free, so you can finally live your truth and find inner peace. While it won't be easy, think about the cost of living a lie. All right, he didn't say anything bad, honestly. Okay, look at this one. Somebody said, I'm so proud of myself. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. This person said, I'm so proud of myself for living my true self. If you don't like me because I'm gay, that's your problem, but I will never leave to please anyone. I can imagine the pain most people go through just because they want to please people or family. That's not fair. Just be yourself and people will love you for who you are, period. Well, these things are easier said than done. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, they're easier said than done. The truth is that no one has the right to judge anyone for taking their time. Okay. Period. This has nothing to do with gay people or anything, just in life in general. Take your time, especially when it's emotional issues and you're not hurting anyone. But I get what Bisi Alimi is trying to say here, that if you're hurting other people, because if you're living a lie, you are hurting other people. Kind of like we just talked about infidelity. If you're cheating, you are hurting the people you love the most. So, you go collect too, like I said earlier. So, there's no exonerating that or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're the one talking about it, you probably have more power than you realize. Okay. If you already know the kind of man you are and you decided to put another woman in bondage, God will judge and arrest you. Yeah, this is judgment. This statement is actually judgmental. We have to be guided. Jesus Christ. See, it's very easy to say, you do it like this way, you turn around like that and like that, and you do roll for, and you just like that. It's very easy to say that. This statement by itself, if you look at it close enough, is judgmental all by itself. Okay, even though it's kind of camouflaged as it's saying don't do that to other people. That's why I said let's be guided. Somebody said here, dear gay man, getting married to straight women won't change your sexuality. Yeah, I don't think it's that simple either. But did he lie? Why put a woman's emotion on jeopardy when you can be happy with your true self? I second the motion. I listened to a little of what Auntie B did earlier today. Just like what she said. A third world country society, and it's not easy. It's easier to run your mouth than the realities of those things, you know. This guy's statement here, today is a good day to divorce your wife, set that woman and leave your truth. This statement is holistic enough, but when you start to curse, you start to curse people and all that kind of stuff, that's when it starts to become a little funny. Like, it's not necessary. I don't think you truly understand what is going on. I think you're just trying to cap like you understand, but you don't, you know. There's a lot of emotions involved in this stuff, so any form of judgment, shaming will only hand you and your loved one in the poto. Think about it. Do you really believe there are real gay men in Africa? You see? Oh Lord. Wahala. They play now hustle and script to receive wrath and attention. Okay, so that's the curse right there. This person just wanted to curse people they don't understand. A lifestyle they don't understand. The truth came out here, right here. The truth is not when you say, the truth is in your behavior. The truth comes out of your behavior, right? In wrath and attention. Then use the evidence to claim asylum abroad. They play. By the way, this person truly believed what they said. Right? You prayed to marry a good man. Now you had another prayer not to marry a man who has sexual preferences for men. Well, that's why praying to marry a good man, while that's cute, that's not all you should be praying for, right? You also should be praying for wisdom and understanding. You can marry a good man who lacks wisdom and understanding. Somebody say, but good men always have wisdom and understanding. Who told you that? That's a lie. That is a lie. There are a lot of good men who lack wisdom and understanding. That's why they also end up in poto. That's why they also collect. Where's the lie? Please don't stress anybody's daughter when you know your personality, okay? Whatever a man does with his private is his business. But he shouldn't bring or force a woman into his life. Alright, so let's see if we can find one. Okay. As they pray for faithful men, make we still they pray to God. Make we give us straight men. Like, make he just day straight. Alright. I can feel that prayer. Especially, these issues are still the minority of the issues that comes into marriage. Probably less than 2%. A lot of women will be in this chat and be focused on the wrong issues. Okay? So a bunch of people are praying now against Mr. Gabriel. For my show. May God give us wisdom and understanding. Anyway, speaking of this story, this guy right here. This guy is one of the slowest men we have in society. I'm sorry. That's not an indictment, but he's slow. Okay. What did you do? Let's get into it. Okay, so he's friends with Alex Ekubo, the other gentleman that we reviewed here some few weeks ago, who was collecting woto from the girlfriend for allegedly leaving a a lie. We don't know the truth about that. There's another gentleman, Ike Obona, with the same rumors, but he happens to be the third friend, and they know them together in the industry, right? And this was his reaction to what happened. First of all, his wife came out and started dragging all the trolls, the online monitoring spirit. Terrible idea. You withdraw yourself. You can't swim against the trend or ocean wave. If you don't know what you're doing, especially, you will drown. That's what happened, okay? Because we're still talking about it right now. But again, as I've always said, this is not about Mr. Gabriel at all, or anybody who lives in Agege, or the gay men, or the Alphabet community. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with a society that has low tolerance for alternative lifestyles. What do I mean by alternative lifestyle? Somebody says, so that's alternative. Like, no. Even if somebody lives, even if I'm from Akure and somebody is from Kogi State, you guys frown against it. Tribalistic behaviors is a real deal out there, right? And it's part of the reasons why Nigeria is in the state where it is right now. Because Nigeria is some of the smartest human beings on earth. But when it comes to anything that has to do with emotions, power dynamics, politics, obviously they failed woefully. And watch, they're about to pick another president from the same issues, right? But anyway, I think he's slow because, again, his response, I'm going to read it to you right now. It's just sad that we have a grown man with good status in society, money misroad, but don't know how to conduct themselves in public. They think they can just swear their way through life. We've never really heard from him. Kudos to him for that, right? It's a quiet guy. He's just doing his jejely, right? Until you trigger something in him. And this topic triggered him badly, right? I understand that is that society, your livelihood may be involved in all this kind of stuff. But in this today, same day, another guy, what's his name? Kunle Remy, came out and said some of the most powerful people in the industry tried to get him into that lifestyle and promised him that his life would change. Exactly who are we deceiving? Anyway, let's read this. And I quote, "It is always easy for friends and family to reach out and always say, ignore them. Silence is golden. Yes, the things that we need to do in life to get ahead and to make sure that we maintain our sanity are easier said than done." Why is that surprising, brother? We know that this is not easy. To be quiet, especially when you clearly have been triggered. That's the whole point. It's highly rewarding because it's not easy. Duh. Anyway, let's keep going. They will get tired and move on to the next person. But I am the one wearing these shoes. What shoes, brotherly? That there are allegations that are not true, according to you. What shoes? I thought you were not wearing shoes because this is confusing. Or you're wearing shoes of people saying you did what you didn't do. What didn't you do? Your private life? Will anybody ever know what you do with your wife in your household? Okay, so I understand it's hard to comprehend, but yes, anything that's worthwhile in life are not easy because they are highly rewarding. Because if it was easy, everyone else would be doing it right. And I'm the one feeling all pains and damages. What damages? Oh, okay, I get it. It can be damaging depending on what kind of clients you have and people that may pull endorsements and stuff like that, right? Okay. Damages to your reputation. So I'm not even going to shame him, but shame on that culture because this is just bad. Again, it's not about the people in the Alphabet community. This is how they behave. There's also classism, right? There's also like status by status behavior, the way they maltreat a house help, a maid, a gate man. You can see it just look around, you can see it if you live out there, if you've visited there recently. It's the same behavior. It's just easy to blame it on the Alphabet community right now. Reputation. My own daughter is going to get married to the son of a gate man. We've never heard that before, right? Coming out of church today, of course. He's coming out of church. Now we should know he's a holy man, a good man. Coming out of church today and having reflected on all the lies against me, I want to say I'm not too good a Christian. This has nothing to do with Christianity. Again, when you look around you, there's more than enough things to blame. You can blame the alphabet community, you can blame Christianity, but you are your own shadow. It will follow you everywhere you go, in every aspect of life. So it's not too good of a Christian who would turn and take a slap on the other cheek. Enough is enough. Should I, Omoni, Oloroyomi, Makun, be gay or nurse any single idea of sleeping with a fellow man? No, it's not sleeping with a fellow man. It's having kerewa with another man. Exchanging kerewa with another man, right? Nobody's telling you that you oppressed another person. But this is all a mindset, by the way. This is just mindset. So I can't blame him too much, right? It's a mindset of an average person in Nigeria. And like I said, it's easy to blame this on the alphabet community, but you can see this in every other dimensions. Okay? Who can see me with that? I better pass my neighbor, right? You can see it in some of your pastors. Shout out to Pastor Sam Adeyemi. Oh Lord. And he said, may death take him before his time. May everything that God has blessed him with be taken away from him. Do you even know what it means to have lost the idea at all? What if the thought have gone through your mind at all, ever? Is the thought going through your mind when you are actively pushing against it? Is that thought going through your mind? Could you be cursing yourself right now if God would just stamp it right now? Because if it's not going through your mind, you won't be so repelling of it, right? You will be repelling it so hard, you will be so triggered by it. What if God starts stamping this right now? May he not prosper in anything he lays his hands on to do. May failure become his portion in everything that concerns. Why so angry? Is it that bad? I understand Nigeria is a different society altogether. I get it. Listen, I understand if somebody comes in your face and says something like that to your face, they should get punched in the nose. But this is internet trolls that you're trying to push against. How do you think this is going to help you? Exactly what result are you looking to get out of it? Right? When you do anything in life that lacks purpose, you go collect. If you do anything with respect to getting caught up in your emotions, you go collect. Same thing. It's the same issues everywhere you turn. Identify the purpose. Spend some time with the purpose. Why are you doing what you're about to do? Why do you feel the way you feel? Take 30 seconds. If I were you, I would double that up and double down. Take 30 minutes to think about typing this type of stupid stuff. As a person of means and putting it on the internet, I would take time to think about it. Because once you post it, there's no coming back. Instablog Nigeria will take a screenshot and then you are cuffed. On the other hand, if these are fabrications born out of envy, jealousy, wickedness, and insecurities, I pray for the same God to vindicate you. I'm using all over the place. May those of you who enjoy and share such lies against you, okay, so it's going to curse out all of the bloggers and content creators. And somehow these curses are supposed to start performing. When? Last night? Such lies against us, be against him, be also entertained with pain you bring to your family, that they bring to his family. May that thing that has kept you jobless, people are not jobless. People are getting entertained on a media form. A lot of people are at work and doing their thing and you're just a celebrity and they're trolling you. It is what it is. Your curse, by on arrival. The only one I doubt is this one that you're cursing yourself out, even though the thoughts are going through your mind. Because if the thoughts are not going through your mind, you wouldn't be repelling it so hard. Today, he pronounces pie and doom and destruction on anyone who would. Who is training these people to curse like this? Nigerian pastors. This is the work of a lot of Nigerian pastors. They teach people to curse like this. And they think they're actually getting way ahead. And they're moving backwards. Doom, destruction. Who gave you that kind of anointing? Unless you're saying it to yourself. On anyone who would continue to incite lies designed to assassinate character. Is this character issue? What about the character of a person that will get on their own public platform where they sell a business, where they're running a business, and curse like this and swear at heights like this? What about that character? Can we talk about that part? Oh no, I just woke up. No, this is you. You're just a quiet person, but this is you. This is how you behave in your personal life. You can't tell me. You can't make me believe that you don't curse like this in your regular life. I also pronounce the same on those fall and fly with it without confirmation. Confirmation of what? Who's coming into your bedroom to confirm nothing? Again, this has nothing to do with any of that. This has everything to do with your character and your incapability to handle the gift that God gave you. It's a lie. Anyway, I don't want to end the session like this. Okay? I don't want to end the session like this. Let me see. I want to end with something positive because I want you guys to go to bed with something positive. Okay? All right, so fact that you have identified. All right, good. Thank you. Nigerians see this agri thing like it's a pie sentence. Now, what for our mentality? Yeah, it's a mentality issue. Yeah, not real wow. It's terrible because it shows up in other aspects. It's affecting the ability of also men to lead properly. Because if this guy can't handle this, media triggering him, what about when he gets triggered by his wife? How about that, right? I know the wife reacted too. It's just all bad. It's birds of the same feather. It's very bad, and yes, it's precisely homophobic behavior, including the statement that Ayo Malcolm AY Comedy made as well. It's all homophobic behavior. There's nothing that can spell out a backward society more than that. Okay, all right, because whatever you see in humans right now that have always existed, they're not going anywhere. People will continue to fight and advocate for human rights, equal for everyone, women, men, alphabet community, people of different colors, the faster you can deal with it, the easier your life will be. The more you're not willing to deal with that, the harder your life is going to be. Just look at Naira to dollars. Okay? Some of you cannot even do business between one country and the other. The thing don't buy. Another hundreds of Naira in value is disappeared. You're in the middle of building a project. The hundreds of Nairas of value has disappeared because you don't know how to think with an open mind. The status of the economy is a state of the human's mind, the people in it, not your president. Stop the cap. Yeah, stop the cap. It's not just your president. They see it as a disease. Most people will pray it away. Yeah. Men and women are really incapable of living their truth in a country like Nigeria. Yeah. Because of this type of mindset, of course, But let me leave you on a good note before we end this session today. All right, shout out to Dr. Shola. Dr. Shola is also another content creator. I do stumble into his videos every now and then. I followed him for years. But he posted something about another one of my favorite pastors. There are quite a few of them. There's some good pastors out here. I actually go to church with one of them. So Dr. Shola posted this. Let me show you. Let me make my screen bigger so you can see. All right, good. He posted this post about the Pastor Samadiyemi. He's probably my favorite pastor ever. Probably. Yeah. It's just too real with this guy, you know. So for those of you that are Christians and you still want to practice Christianity in a way that kind of makes sense with the times, and you know, you're questioning a lot of stuff, right? But your spirit still tells you, like, you know what? There's something about the teachings of Jesus Christ that you just love. This may be a guy that you want to follow. Okay? But they posted this and I thought it was good. I thought I should highlight it. It can shed some light on the future of Nigeria too, you know, or that some people can still make sense out of the chaos, right? Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button while I go through this, and then we'll round up. All right. So here's what apparently. So Dr. Shola posted. He said the Daystar Christian Church, which is Pastor Samadiyemi's church, went agog seeing Pastors Samadiyemi and Pastor NKECHI physically in church today. That was Sunday yesterday, right? It was really very emotional to watch. So some few years ago, I noticed that they've been spending a lot of time in the United States, and I'm like, because I follow them on social media, and I'm like, God, I hope they're okay. Because sometimes when people spend longer than necessary, like longer than a few weeks, and you notice like that they have a whole life. Most of these people, all their money, their wealth, their empire is built in Nigeria. So they enjoy life more in Nigeria, except this one little occasion that sometimes they will now come to the abroad, to the overseas. And it's usually when they're sick, right? So I have to be honest, in my heart, I'm like, I hope not. Because he's always been one of my favorite pastors out of Nigeria, period, right? Because he's enlightened, he knows what's up. Like, he's not just completely blindfolded by the fact that the world is evolving, and he finds way in the scriptures to consolidate. And he's not going to tell you that tithe you are going to hellfire if you don't pay tithes just because it sounds good. It's not going to say things like that. But in fact, tell you like, no, that has nothing to do with nothing. All right, it's just giving. Okay, you want to give to the church, to the vineyard, yes, it comes with blessings. But no, you're not going to hellfire if you don't pay. Why would any pastor feel the need to say that? It's controlling behavior, nothing else. Okay, same behaviors that we're talking about. So when I say the pastors are the most influential people in Nigeria, and they are teaching the society what they know, including how they pick presidents, including how they pick us. Elect officials, government, public officials. It all comes from, it's all related. Religion, politics, same thing, okay? Potato. Anyway, so when I saw them spending a lot of time, I'm like, I hope that he's fine. Then I saw another picture with Pastor NKECHI starting, I think before he came, Pastor NKECHI was starting a fellowship or something like that in the Georgia area. And I'm like, okay, maybe they just want to launch a church or something like that. Maybe, just maybe, right? But as time went on, I noticed that because I'm a digital marketer, you see I wrote a whole book on digital marketing here. That's something I've done for the past 12 years, right? And I noticed that he was in some seminars that I pay attention to, like some seminars with people like Brenda Bouchard, and he's enlightening himself, learning these things, internet marketing. He's creating webinars, teaching people leadership. I he's always taught leadership anyway. And I'm like, okay, it seems like he's fine. And I'm like, okay, like after like a few months, I'm like, this guy is going to create some kind of new system, do something that nobody has ever done before, as is always done, because nobody preaches like him, very subtle, and build a big church. If you're not telling people their future, your church might not grow in Nigeria. Just might not, okay? If you're not able to tell them what's going to happen tomorrow, people might not come to your church in Nigeria. So, obviously, it's gifted extraordinarily to be able to use words to build a strong community, as it was. I think I got to know of him probably as far back as 2012, 2013 that I've been following him. But let me continue reading this. There are several lessons I picked from their speech to the congregation. This is Dr. Shola picking this out. Number one, God will build his church and the gate of hell shall never prevail. Right? Number two, the church of God doesn't belong to anyone. It doesn't belong to any leader, GO, bishop, pastor, prophetess, prophet, but God himself. Nigerian pastors, they won't necessarily disagree with you, but their body language will disagree with you. Like, what are you talking about? Don't let me slap you. Number three, a child of God must be able to hear God and hear him very well. Yeah, regardless of your title, right? That's why no one can come and tell me that God said something. God said what? What did God say? Oh, God said, okay.
Stop the cap.
God will test the obedience of his child by a wilderness experience. That means you go collect. All right? That means we all go through stuff. Trying times, right? Just because you're going through trying times, don't let a pastor or a prophet tell you that it's because your mother said something to you and it must be your mother that's doing you. Okay. Do not turn revelation into explanation because it won't make sense to people. Just obey because at the end it shall speak. That means, okay, so let's dissect this, okay? When people say obedience, usually in Nigerian churches, they mean they told you what they want to tell you and you're supposed to obey. Not what you heard directly from God. This statement is you have to hear directly from God. That means you have a conviction personally and you just obey. There's no need to do shalaye, right? There's no need to do shalaye. Or if you do shalaye, you will drag yourself, right? It won't make sense to people anyway, right? Until the fruit starts showing, of course. The power of technology must be leveraged on by everyone, okay? Technology, I said that, right? Now, this is Dr. Shola pulling these points out, right? Your current state must die as a seed in the soil before a new state evolves. See? Right? Oh no, everything should just be perfect right off the bat, just because it's duty and responsibility, just because you know how to be right. No. Whatever you know, everything you believed in will be tested, and they have to die. Okay? Before you can bring forth. Don't let me start preaching because I'm not a pastor. Number 8, it was a test of resilience and long-term sustainability of the day. So that's when they were away, right? How do you test if you've actually built a structure that will stand? Let it stand by itself. Can it stand on its own, right? Can anybody tell us what's going on with TB Joshua's church? Is it still there? Because we know that in the first few months after he passed away, it was Bosbas. Number 9, a new dimension of leadership has evolved via the use of technology known as long-distance leadership. Okay. Number 10, it has shown the power of building formidable teams, systems, and structures. What are we about to do with Man of Prestige and the Prestige family? We will build formidable teams, systems, and structure. This is not about any one person, right? Number 11, it has brought about a new model of leadership to be studied, the Daystar Reinvention Strategy. There, he actually created a system out of it. 12, if your wife, husband of a spiritual leader, you must also be able to hear from God so that there won't be disagreement or misunderstanding in the home. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And you can't tell me that you're not able to keep a home together and you're able to keep a church together. Okay? Will it last? Okay? Only time will tell. In summary, the Daystar Christian Church Strategy is a model to be studied by every leader. For the 3 years that Pastor Sam was not around physically, the church was run successfully. Every leader, including church leaders, should build their organization's church to a level that it will continue to operate without them. I'm sure. Yeah, this was a good one, Pastor Shola. Shout out to Pastor Shola. Okay. Yeah, shout out to Pastor Shola. Just wanted to pull that in there and make sure we end on a good note, because there's some people, yes, in that same society doing the right thing, not jumping on the internet to curse people in the name of God. Yeah, there's quite a few people. So make sure that you're acknowledging those people, studying them, because the growth, if somebody can grow in Nigeria and you can study them, that means you can grow anywhere, basically. Okay. All right, so let's see. We've had a good one, another good session, another good time. MOP, I have to drop off. I get work. Sorry about that. Yes, D-Love, we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, Ja say it is Bas Bos, not Bos Bas. Did I say Bos Bas? We don't correct you, Taya. Voila. Pardon me. Good to see you, Ja. Yeah. So again, you can see the books. Go ahead and download the books. They're free. All right. And take advantage. I have some resources for you to help you. Take advantage of them. You know, join the Prestige family on WhatsApp. Okay. On your way out, hit the like button. Okay. Share the sessions with people that you think may like. Subscribe. If you're watching a replay, leave me a word. Okay. And you can still support super chats. There's a button with a little $sign or whatever your currency is under every video. Okay. So you can still support even if you're watching replay. Your supports are going to good cause. Thank you again to let me see. Hey Isabel. Isabel has been listening quietly. Again, shout out to D-Love. Thank you so much for the support. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.